I don't wanna overthink, so I should chill, watch a movie and drink. Look around, I don't see people who think anymore.
Hey guys, welcome to Tell Me More About It with your co-hosts Larry and Vernon.
How's it going?
Good, man. So you ready to get into this?
Yep.
So today's episode, we're just going to tell you guys about us, why we want to do this, and what you guys can expect. So my name is Larry again. I'm 22 years old. I go to University of Cincinnati. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm not telling you my address, but but what I mostly do each and every day is make music. I'm a artist, rapper, songwriter, producer, but I spend most of my time making music. And when I'm not doing that, I'm finding other ways to be creative, whether it's talking business with Vernon or playing the game or just chilling, watching some TV, anime, or whatever like that. I'm a regular person. I ain't nobody special. Trying to be that special person, but you all can relate. But I'm nobody special. Your average Joe, and always wanted to be the alpha dog. Didn't work out like that. I used to play basketball, so if y'all want to catch it one-on-one, you can. But anyway, I'm doing this because I feel like I have a voice, and I want it to be heard, but like within a community, and I want positive energy around me. My family emphasizes being around positive people, and Vernon's one of those people who's been positive with me throughout my whole life. We've known each other since like sixth grade basketball. I think it was seventh grade basketball, but that doesn't even include like we played for the Outlaws. That was sixth grade, so that's been over 10 years. And this is a place where we talk about morals as well. But that's why I want to do this, mostly, again, to have a positive environment and voice out my opinion, my brand, and to help you guys out as well, because because I know how it feels to want to have help and not get it, but you're always there for someone when they need help. So.
Yeah. My name's Vernon again. Like Larry said, we've known each other for a very long time, and we've had a lot of experiences together. Some good, some bad, but
Sure.
We've had experiences. And yeah, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio as well, and I'm a new entrepreneur, and just kind of like Larry as well. So we're just starting off, and I think that's cool too, because we're not going to keep information from you guys. Like, we want this to be a positive community. We want it to be a community where you guys are open with your dreams and goals, and we push one another to reach those goals. And we want to be here this podcast, I think, is going to be really good because it'll show you where we started to wherever we end up. And I know that can be a hard thing, especially when it comes to your dreams, because you're like, dang, this seems like this is going to be impossible to actually do what I want to do. So you settle for something that someone else says you should do. And I learned the hard way that is not the way to go. It's just not, because you end up miserable and no. So luckily, Larry and I think, can agree that we are following our passions, and we want to just show that it's possible. So I think that's a big reason why we wanted to start this podcast. But I want to tell you guys a little more about what the podcast is going to be too, so you guys can know what to look forward to and different things like that. But Larry can start us off with that. So.
All right. So, basically, the podcast is going to range from a wide variety, from movies to, and Vern and I are big movie fans. It could be books. It could be the new roller coaster ride at Kings Island. It could be a song. It could be something serious like Black Lives Matter movement, or anything serious. I'm not about to go deep into it, but it's just going to be a wide variety. It's going to be fun too. Something where you guys can learn something you guys might tell us that we didn't even know because we didn't research it enough. But yeah, it's like you said, a community.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a community, and we're gonna talk about, like, we're not gonna be one of those podcasts where we could talk about something that's going on, but we're not. Like, we're gonna talk about it.
Exactly.
And we're two young African American men, so
We're millennials.
I think that would be a different perspective. But this is for everyone. Anyone can see this. We're not going to shy away from it, and we're going to give our perspective. But we also want to hear your guys' perspective, because we may not know your perspective, and that goes to, we just want to bring people together and be positive towards one another and help each other with our goals, because that's how you succeed. And that's what we want this community to be about. So we're going to go over COVID. We're going to go over the Black Lives Matter. We're going to go over all of it. And it's going to be...
Yeah. No, we're not doing that.
It's going to be interesting, because this is going to be it's going to be a little bit of everything. We're going to have some funny podcasts, little sly jokes. We're going to have some more serious ones, but we'll try to incorporate a little fun into that, because at the end of this podcast, we want you guys to be motivated, and we want you guys to just, if there's something going on in your life, we want you just to be able to enjoy this and feel like, wow, this is a community that actually gets me, and I feel like I can actually achieve what I want to achieve.
For me, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But yeah, so that's what we're going to achieve. That I know this is going to help a lot of people. It's going to help us. We're going to be able to connect with so many different people and get a better view of how other people view different things. So this isn't like we're coming here giving you knowledge, because we're still learning. We have experience, but we're still learning. So anything or any resources that we could give you to help you succeed, we're going to do it. We're not going, like Larry was saying, we're not going to keep things from you, because we want you to be successful, because that's just who we are. So if that's who you are, then you can join this podcast and subscribe and all these things, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep it real. We're just two normal guys, and that's how we want to keep it. So
exactly. We're not going to talk about things we don't know. A famous saying my dad always says is, I don't like speaking on things I don't know. So if we don't know something, we're not proclaiming to know it all. We're not proclaiming to know it all. We're still learning ourselves. I think this podcast can range from 18. Our target audience is, guys our age, because we're the ones going about our journey right now, trying to make our dreams come into fruition, happen right now. But you could be 30, 35, 40, 27, 28, and tune in, because I understand some people get started late. It's never too late to do what you want to do. What I want you guys to take away from this is, don't be afraid to take risks. Coming from me, I've always been afraid to take risks, and this podcast is giving me courage to go out there and do what I want to do, and not caring if people laugh at what you want to do. So
yeah. So that's what we want this podcast to be, and that's the direction we're gonna head towards. But now that you know a little bit about the podcast and what we'll be doing, we had some questions just to help you get to know us a little better, because we want to create rapport and whatnot. So you guys can see that we're literally just like you. We're not different at all.
You see, I'm in my bedroom. I'm in my bedroom.
So yeah, you're here with us from the beginning, and we're not going to change, and we're still going to help regardless of how much success we have or whatnot. We are not going to change. We're still going to help and be who we are. But that's just the type of people that we are. So that's the type of people we'd like to draw to this community. But yeah, so as far as the questions, one of the first ones we had was just, what have you been up to during quarantine? So Larry, you can take that one away.
All right. Mostly just chilling, honestly, because everybody's not everyone, but a lot of people been out of work. So I've been one of those people, myself included. So during this time, I just found myself diving deeper into my craft, which is making music. I'm an artist who goes by the name of LJ Smooth, but that's only when I'm working. Outside of my music, I'm a regular person. But yeah, LJ Smooth, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever. But making beats as well, you know. Um, but yeah, I bought that 2K game. I told Vern I wasn't gonna buy it, and then I bought it.
Yeah.
Now I'm
playing for a while.
Now I'm playing every day, but mostly just chilling. I know I haven't been busy like you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So back when this first started and everyone was freaking out about COVID, I mean, I was with everyone else. I was like, what's going on? And hearing all these different things. And then we all got quarantined, and it all happened so fast. And I spent a good 2 months just at home. And I feel like that affected everyone differently. Some people, they loved it. Some people, they hated it. Some people, mixture of both. And I think for me, I think it started off good, because I'd like to say I'm a homebody. At least I thought I was. But this quarantine changed my opinion on that for sure. So I was just kind of going through the motions. Larry and I would play a lot of games, and I couldn't help I couldn't help but feel like there was something more that we could do, and that we could really take advantage of this time. And so I started reading different books, listening to different audiobooks, and I was like, you know what? This is a great time to actually start working towards my dreams. And I think both of us have taken advantage of that and started doing that. So yeah, I would have a routine. I'd wake up, work out, read an audiobook, try to figure out a business that I could do, and on repeat religiously. And out of nowhere, I found a business that I want to do. I'm in like online marketing. That's my type of business that I'm into. And it's been great. I enjoy it. And I would have never known if it wasn't for this quarantine. So I think that was a blessing. And as well as this podcast, this is Larry and I, we've been thinking about doing this podcast for a while, and we knew we wanted to get things out there, and we wanted to help people and show them that, hey, you can do this too, even with all these other voices going on. But yeah, I'm just happy we're doing it now, because this is going to be good. And
Exciting.
Yeah. So fast forward 2 months after we've been quarantined, I go back to work. So
I know y'all can relate to that.
Yeah. So just to explain how I was feeling, just imagine just waking up or taking naps whenever you want to, and not really having anything to do except like what you're doing with your business. Now go back to work full time from 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. Plus I have all this business stuff now. Man. And you can quickly see how it was like, oh no. But it took me a while to get a hold of all of it. But now that I have, I'm still happy that I've done it. And Larry and I, we're just gonna keep pushing, because that's the way to go. And you're a lot happier when you do it too. So
Right.
quarantine started off good, then it got bad, but it ended great because now I'm working towards my dreams, and there's nothing better than that.
I'm glad you said that. Before we go to the next question, one thing I want to add is quarantine did start off bad. It did, but if how I looked at it was it gave me time to reconnect with my family, especially since all of us were on the go when I was living downtown, which was like 45 minutes from my family, and moving back here gave me time as a whole family to reconnect.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm thankful for that because I felt like I didn't even see my family with my schedule, but I got to spend more time with family and get to go on walks and do things that I didn't know if I'd ever be able to do again because I was just working so much. So
Right.
that's been a blessing. But yeah, that's what we've been doing on quarantine. And another question that we had was like, what future topics will we be discussing?
We'll be
And
discussing a lot.
yeah,
We'll be
yeah,
discussing a
there's
lot.
a lot has happened. But Larry, you can take that one away. Just
All right.
start naming some of the stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It can be anything, honestly, because I mean we're always thinking of some crazy ideas in our heads talking over the phone. This is just now you guys get to basically see what we be talking about, and yeah, it could be from music to video games to Black Lives Matter movement to new roller coaster at Kings Island to I don't know to anything, honestly, anything, books, clothing, anything, silly stuff, relationships. So we got plenty of stories about that. Let's not even go in there. But
Yeah, we do.
so, and the age group, it can hopefully you guys can relate to it, or leave a comment below and tell us what you guys want to hear, and we'll bring that up as well in future podcasts.
Yeah, yeah. So going off of what Larry said, we'll be discussing everything. I know, and I feel like a lot of people forgot about this, but I remember back when everybody thought we were about to have to go to war and there's going to be a draft, and we're going to get into that because that was crazy. At least for me, that was pretty crazy too. So
we was talking.
I mean, there's that. I mean, Kobe Bryant and Larry and I both played basketball. That was like our Michael. I mean, I used to watch his videos. I saw him in the playoffs, saw him win finals and all that. That affected me for a while. So we're gonna go over all of that stuff. So, and we're gonna keep it real and just our reactions. So this is a wide range for everybody. I mean, people that are older can maybe get a better perspective because we're millennials and trying to do what millennials do, I guess, so they think, but we're all different.
They got their own perspective. We got our own perspective. So you guys are more than welcome to also drop comments in, and it can be a debate or anything like that.
Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna go over a lot. So just stay tuned for that because it'll be fun. It'll be fun. And another, like, just to get to know us question was, who do we think would enjoy the podcast the most? So we can dive into what we were just talking about a little more.
Go ahead and answer that first.
Yeah. So I think people that will enjoy it the most are, you're going 17, 18, you're about to have to make big decisions like, should I go to college? Should I do this or should I do that? Right. I think you'll enjoy this podcast a lot because for me personally, when I was 18, I was like, I'm going to the NBA. Like, which I'm sure a lot of people have done. I was for certain I was going to the NBA. I was committed to it. I'm like, I don't care what anyone says. That's where I'm going. Things happened, didn't work out, and I was lost. for a little bit, because that was my goal. That's all I had. And when I lost that, now it's like, where do you go? And then you're like, since I don't know what I want to do, let me just listen to one of these things that everyone else is telling me. And you think that's the way to go, but then you learn that it's not. And all of these things can be difficult to get out of. And we just hope that you can relate to that, and then to where we are now and to where we're going, because it's not easy. I wish I could say it is, but finding out where you want to go and who you want to be, I just don't think it was meant to be. If it was easy, then I mean, everyone would do it, and that's just not realistic. I wish it was, though. But
I hope so too.
yeah, Larry, what about you?
You pretty much covered the bases. I think you hit it right on the nail, honestly. Like Vernon said, that's the hard part, is how not when you're lost, you tend to want to listen to one of the outside voices instead of listening within, because adults are like, it's like, let's go, you're on a time clock, like what you gonna do, but sometimes it takes time to figure out what you want. But it's important to keep moving forward, whatever you do. Even though you may not be sure where you're going, the most important thing is to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And the next question we had, which we thought, I mean, maybe to help you get to know us a little more, is what's something people seem to misunderstand about you? So, take it away.
I feel like ever since I was, I want to say, in college, people, not everyone, no, that's not true. Okay, people tend to think I don't care about other people because I'm in a selfish career, which is just a stereotype, because I'm a very caring person. I'm a very humble person. And I go out the way for my friends and family. The ones that I like, of course. No, I'm playing. My friends and family. I'm always there for them. Even people who've mistreated me or did me wrong, I have sometimes helped them out. So I just feel like, getting back on point, just because I'm an artist and I'm always trying to promote myself, my music, and what I do, I still want to find ways to help people around me.
Yeah.
And that podcast does that in a sort of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely does. And something that I think people misunderstand about me is, I think for some reason, so I'm a guy, this is just who I am. People think that just because I don't talk a whole bunch, that they think it kind of bothers them. You start to figure out, like, I'll have people that be like, why don't you talk? And why aren't you talking as much as you could? And my answer to it is always, well, I'm listening. And I think that's a big thing too, especially with this podcast. We're going to be listening. We're just not going to be talking the whole time, because everybody wants to always talk, but no one's listening. And I think that's valuable. So I think that's something that people misunderstand about me, that I hope maybe this podcast could help change how people view that, because there's quieter people and whatnot, but that doesn't mean like they're just not like everybody else. They don't enjoy having fun or going out and doing different things. It's just maybe they're a listener. So I think that's one thing that, yeah, people definitely misunderstand.
I've really had to come to the grips with accepting who I am, what things I like, and just being okay with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And just on a typical day standpoint, we had a question like, what is our typical day to day? So
All right. My routine usually starts off with I wake up. Um, if I'll probably hop in the shower, listen to some music while I'm in the shower. Hop out, go downstairs, try to write to some music, or try to. Lately, it's been trying to make a beat. Finish with that. Hop on the game, 2K of course, or Madden, or something else. You guys don't know it, but Smite. And after that, watch some TV and call it a day. Oh, I work out too. I forgot that, but I might work out maybe like at like 10 or 11.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah, but my typical day to day, now that I've gone back full time, my schedule is like 4:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. And it's not the worst schedule. Sometimes hours can vary a little. We might have to come in for a surprise job, but yeah. So I'll wake up around 12 maybe. I'll work on my business, try to keep everything up and going about that, stay knowledgeable about stuff, and then I'll try to get a quick workout in. Then I'm off to work. Come back from work, try to do a little more business work, try to eat something, maybe watch a quick show. Right now on Netflix, it's Supergirl. Yes, I'm into nerdy stuff like that. But yeah, that's my day to day right now. It's pretty much just routine, just to stay on top of things. So yeah, and we'll keep continuing to do day to days as we start to adapt and change and get more into our businesses full time and whatnot, because we're, like we said, this is not going to be like we're hiding stuff from you. We literally want you to see the progression so that you know what, yeah. So maybe to see what you could expect when you decide to do it, or maybe you could go along with us with this journey. So we want to hear all of that. So
One thing that when our schedules are both free, and they're both free, and I can get him on the game, we get on zombies. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Zombies.
Yep. That's the game. We used to play that for hours when we were younger.
Hours.
Every single day. But yeah. And the next question we had was like, what book will we recommend? Because we feel like that could maybe help you see a little bit more into our personalities. So Larry, you can go first.
So I would call myself a rap nerd. Like I'm big on rap, and one person who's I'm a huge fan of is Logic, and he just wrote a book like I think a year ago, and it's called Supermarket by him. Really, really, really good book. And if you don't want to read that one, I know you just said one, but I got one more. It's you say go for it.
Yeah.
It's this trilogy. I got it on my phone. Hold up. It's by Joe Abercrombie. It's the first one's called Half a King, and then there's two other ones. That series, it's really good. It's about it's a really good series. It's about a kid who was born a crippled.
What?
When I mean crippled, he his left arm isn't there, and he's the king's son. And literally his whole life, people are talking about him, telling him he's not a king. But one day his uncle kills his father, and he has to take the throne and do all these responsibilities, and it gets pretty wild. And there's so many twists and turns in the book. You'll like it. If not, whatever.
Oh man, that's Larry for you. But I mean, that's good. That's how you should be. Everyone's not gonna like what you do, but yeah, check the book out. Could be good. Who knows? I haven't seen it or read it. But yeah, I'm really into audiobooks. I try to read too. There's some books that I'm reading, but I'm really into audiobooks, and I'm really into like businessy books and personal finance and things like that. I've just always been fascinated by it. But I'm gonna have two too. It's hard to narrow it down to one.
Hard.
But one of them is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was a very good book, just because it shows how even when you are educated, and nothing against education and making it higher, but there's something to be said about the person that goes their own way as well, and maybe doesn't choose that route and finds their own way. So it's a very good book that talks about that and personal finance and how to set yourself up. So I would definitely recommend that book for sure. That's like if you read that book, you'll be set by the time you retire with whatever you try to do. And the next one, I'm not sure, because I think she may have like a audio, like full book version, and I think this was just more of her speaking. But it's called The Power of Vulnerability, and it's by Brene Brown. And she really dives into just like being vulnerable and being self-conscious about what other people think and whatnot, and ways to maybe get away from that to really be who you're meant to be. Because I think the biggest takeaway I had from that one was when you just are who you are, then the people that are meant to be in your life will gravitate towards you. And that's what you want, because they'll be there to say, hey, you need to do this. You need to follow your dreams, because that's what's going to make you happy. So that one I would definitely recommend as well. But yeah, you should definitely check out both of those, and Larry's as well. So
I'm definitely gonna check out Rich Dad Poor Dad. I know you keep telling me about it. I gotta read it when I get a chance.
yeah, it's pretty good. And then another question that we had was, I guess it kind of ties into the book, but maybe this will dive in even more. What is like the quote that you live by? One quote, not two, not three,
I got
just
one.
one.
I got one. It's just life is what you give into it, or a better way to say it is you reap what you sow. So and why is because I believe hard work is the answer to anything. It's not the only thing, but it's the thing that separates you from other people. And I believe if you translate hard work into your goal, you can achieve anything.
Yeah. Mine would probably be slow and steady wins the race. And it wasn't always that. That wasn't always my quote, but over time, I saw that I was trying to plan everything out, and I wanted it to happen now. Like, for example, earlier when I was saying I'm making it to the NBA, it didn't work out. But I mean, that just goes back to slow and steady. You don't know where you're going to be. You can plan on it, but it's okay if you're not exactly where you want to be at a specific time. And I feel like that's a really big lesson that I learned, and that's why it's slow and steady. Like you'll see with this podcast, we're not trying to rush this. We're not trying to do this just to get views and whatnot. We really just want to make this a community, and that's not going to happen overnight. It's going to be slow and steady, which is perfectly fine with us, because we want the right people to join. We want positive people that'll motivate each other, because we want to see everyone be successful and just to be who they are, because that'll help our world. And that's really what we need, especially as millennials, because it's about to be on us. I mean, the world is good, but there's a lot going on right now. Like, if we're up next, we gotta figure out what's gonna happen. And the best thing you can do is be who you are to help us in the future. So yeah, that's, as you can see, I'm very passionate about this slow and steady because nothing happens overnight, nothing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't want to get too much more into it, but there were a couple things Larry wanted to say. Just
So guys, if you want to be part of this community, hit that subscribe button, like it, or if you want to dislike it, you can dislike it, but it's whatever. We're gonna still keep stepping. We're gonna keep stepping.
we'd like to definitely have you because this is going to be good. Yeah, we think you'll enjoy it a lot.
So exactly. If you would like to leave a comment below. Tell us about maybe who you are so we get to know our people who are listening into it, or let us know what you would like to hear, and we'll chat it over. So yeah, this is episode 1 of Tell Me More About It. All right.
See you soon.
See you soon.
You can be anybody you wanna be.